Thank you, sir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You can take all that out the way. This is not Truth Transcends Color. You're going to hear Truth Transcends Color this evening when I'm back up here. What I wanted to do now is share with you Patriots the reason we're here today. To get this thing started off on a positive note, we have had a lot of tragedies, as Ken just talked about. We've had a lot of people coming against this thing, spiritual forces. So why are we here? And the reason we are here can quite easily be summed up in one number, 38. And if you don't know what that means, you will before you leave here tonight. We're going to talk about the importance and the power of 38. Because what we have to do is hold 38. We have to hold back this tidal wave of liberalism, this tidal wave of governmental control, this tidal wave of secularism, this tidal wave that is trying to take our country over can be pushed back by 38. And what I mean when I talk about that is the changing of America. We were promised hope and change. Well, we got 1 out of 2. We're getting change as fast as it can come. Which causes me to wonder, the same thing that caused you all to wonder, what was it about America that needed to change so badly? Because America is changing. And I would argue not for the better. You and I, most of us here today, we grew up in a different America. We grew up in a different environment than what our children or what our grandchildren are looking at. And I personally don't like that one bit. America I grew up in was phenomenal. I loved being a kid in America. Being a kid in America when I was too young to care about government and politics and all this stuff was awesome. We didn't have the things we have in this country today. We didn't have all these layers of taxation and layers of bureaucracy and massive amounts of governmental control penetrating into our schools, into our workplaces, into our very households. You now have the Department of Child Protective Services that can tell you how to raise your own children. We didn't have all this stuff when you and I were growing up. You want to know why? Because when I was growing up, as a kid, every single mom in my neighborhood had butt-whooping authority on me. Every one of them. Anybody who knows what I'm talking about? It didn't matter. You'd be over at your playmate's house, messing around, doing something you weren't supposed to be doing, and get caught. His mom would let you have it. And then send you home, but before you got home, she's already picked up the phone and called your mom. You walk in the door at your house, your mom's standing there waiting for you to let you have it again. Am I telling the truth up here? In fact, that was even worse, because she'd give it to you twice. Once for whatever it was that you did, and once for embarrassing her over it in front of her friend. Over at somebody else's house, acting like you weren't raised right. I can only imagine what would have happened to me if I had said one day to my mom, I'm going to call Child Protective Services on you. That sister didn't play. My mom would have been like, I got 2 questions. Number 1, what's Child Protective Services? Number 2, how are you going to call anybody with a dislocated jaw? Pow! Now get up there and straighten up that pigsty like I told you to. We didn't have these things. We just grew up in a different America. Some of you in this very audience, you grew up in a house with a loaded shotgun in the hall closet. It was just no big deal. It was no big deal, right? I mean, you knew it was there. Your brothers and sisters knew it was there. Your friends knew it was there. Everybody knew it was there. It was no big deal. When Grandpa came and picked you up to take you somewhere for an ice cream cone, there was another one in his pickup truck. 12 gauge, loaded and ready for action. Because Grandpa never knew when he might come around a corner, scare up some pheasant, and if he was quick enough, he might be able to get some dinner. The last thing Grandpa was thinking about was the government coming around and saying, oh, no, you don't. It was just a different America. And I would argue it was a better America. When you and I played in City League competitive ball, if you finished in 9th place out of 10 teams, you did not go home with a trophy. Is this the truth? When we were growing up, only one team went home with a trophy. The champions. The rest of us all we went home with was a lecture. Coach would gather you around when the season ended and say, you know, we tried as hard as we could out there this year, but we didn't get a trophy. We didn't win the league this year. And what we need to do is to spend a little more time practicing and getting a little bit better. Because the real problem here isn't that you kids need to have your soft, delicate, little underdeveloped egos protected. That's not the problem. The problem is you kids stink. You're the worst team in the league. And if you want to win a trophy next year, what you need to do is go home and turn off the boob tube and spend a little more time practicing, spend a little more time working on your skills so maybe next year we can win a trophy. Because right now, you're horrible. That's what the problem is here. Put some time into getting better. Between now and next season, what you really need to do is to A, spend some time working on your game, B, get out of here because the very sight of you people is making me sick. And the coach was my dad. We didn't have parents calling up the City Park and Rec League complaining that coach talked mean to my kids. Because we understood in those days the reason that you put kids into City League ball. You didn't put your kids into City League ball because one day they're going to grow up to become multimillionaires playing professional sports. We understood the reason you do these things is to teach them lessons about life. And the fact of the matter is, in life, not everything is equal. In life, not all the outcomes are guaranteed. In life, no one's going to hand you a trophy just because you showed up. That's not how it works. You've got to start working on your game because once you get in life, there are going to be people who are faster than you. There are going to be people who can jump higher than you can jump. There are going to be people who can throw farther than you can throw. You are not guaranteed anything in life. The reason you're in league right now is to learn these lessons. No one just wakes up one day with a $300,000 salary, a new BMW, and a vacation house down by the lake. That's not how it works. The people who have those things have them because they worked hard and earned them. And if you want to be one of those people, you got to turn off the boob tube and start applying yourself. We understood all these things 35 years ago, and I know a lot of you understand what I'm talking about right now, because what I'm talking about right now is the old school. This is the way it used to be in America. But now those of us who are there, those of us who lived it, those of us who understand that these principles are foundational truths, find ourselves saying, this stinks. What can we do? I hate what I see happening in my country. It's happening right in front of my face. It's happening on my watch, and I hate it. I hate it with every fiber of being in my body, but what can we do? Well, what we can do right now is 38. We can hold 38 and then grow it to 39 and to 40 and to 50 and to 70 and to 100. But it all starts with 38. And that's why you're here today, to talk about what it's going to take to maintain the principles of conservatism and to spread our message to our brothers and sisters, no matter what their color, that conservatism makes sense for everyone. The government cannot feed you forever. That sooner or later, the piper has to get paid, or he stops playing and the mice come back. That's why we're here today.